Hello all, and welcome to something a little bit different on the channel. Welcome to Nordhold Origins. So, what this game is kind of like a mix between a tower defense game and a base builder game. Nordhold Origins is actually a free demo on Steam right now, and it's a placeholder for what is going to become Nordhold when it releases Q1 of 2025. So, there's plenty of things to do on the demo. You could spend a little bit of time grinding and unlocking plenty of things. New structures you can go ahead and build. New relics you can use to enhance your gameplay as you play along. But it's a lot easier to show than what it is to tell. So I'll go ahead and hit play now, and we'll get into the game. So, for us, this is going to be like starting brand new. Yeah, exactly. So welcome to Nordhold. You can build towers to defend your village and expand it with new buildings. This game will challenge you. Failure is inevitable, and that's very, very important. But it will make you stronger. Learn from your mistakes and optimize your strategy as each game expands your possibilities through meta progression. So meta is kind of a big thing. Of course, you have your basic camera movements. WASD are using the right button on your mouse. Spacebar is pause. F is faster or slower, and G is faster. Yeah, that's how about we read Soul. Now, in your village, you have workers, and workers are going to be doing all the menial tasks around like mining and forestry and working the fields for more food, but they need houses. So workers are the backbone of your economic growth. Try to carefully balance economy and defense. So we can click on the house icon to proceed, and as you can see here, we can build more houses and we can hire workers, but workers require food and building houses requires wood. There is a cap, just so you're aware. We can hire up to 4 workers right now at the current houses we have, and then we build more houses, and that allows us to hire more workers. Very straightforward. We also happen to have a lumberjack camp. Workers can cut wood here. So we click on this here, and we actually have the ability to assign workers. To go ahead and we get 10 wood resources per wave, and away we go. We increase that by 20, so on and so forth. So we have our little management tab on the side here that allows us to construct and move our workers around for every building we have within the base, as you can see. And then, of course, we have our combat area. So this is the area that we slowly expand through and expose, so that way we can progress through the game, draw in more waves, build more towers, yada, yada, yada. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place us a arrow tower, which is our first and base structure. I think we actually have access to, no, we don't have access to the volcano mortar yet, as of yet. But we can unlock these using honor points, and of course you can honor by combat, and then at the end of the map or the end of the mission, when failure is inevitable, as it mentions, you can go ahead and spend your honor points and unlock certain things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a tower here. And the reason why this is so very important is the higher up your towers are, the better their range. So as you can see here, we have a +4 range bonus from this position, where if we were to drop down here, our range is pretty crap. Now there's a couple things to keep in mind too. If you start placing towers closer to the edge, they're going to engage sooner, but they will not be able to engage enemies for a prolonged period of time. Enemies will be going through the paths and going to your base. And as you can see here, we have life points for our wall structure. When that gets down to 0, we lose. Each person that gets through, or each mob that gets through, takes us down by 1 point. If we don't kill the boss, and the boss will eventually show up, if we don't kill our wave boss, and they make it through, it doesn't matter how many life points we have, it's game over. So, let's go ahead and build the tower. And then we can click explore and see exactly what's out there. Like you can see here, open everything up. Enemies start coming through. And we start working on our towers. So one thing we can do for each tower we place down is we have the ability to manage exactly how the tower levels. So we can either spend gold to force a level up right now, or each explore section you unlock, or each turn you take in combat, drops this down by 5 gold until it eventually becomes free and it automatically gets a level. So what I'm going to choose, I'm going to actually choose this tower to automatically upgrade its fire rate for each level that we do. Now, of course, on the focus priority, you have access to like the ones with most health, least health, most block or shield, least shields, most armor, less armor, and nearest to the village, furthest from the village, closest, furthest, fastest, slowest, boss or elite, focus on a large cluster of groups, barrier carrier, so there's going to be guys running around with shields, and circulating, just randomly shoots in all directions, and spawns minions. So if there's a mob on the field that spawns minions when it dies, it will focus that minion first, and then go on to the next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it at closest to the village, because that's going to be our main priority. We want to make sure that everything that goes towards the village gets killed as quick as possible. Now, back to the village itself. We have our castle, which we can do a couple upgrades for, just for the cost of gold. We can have tax burden, so each worker generates 1 gold per level, or we upgrade it twice, we get 2 gold. And an economy budget, so all building upgrades become 10%, 25%, and then eventually 40% cheaper. Not only that too, but as we get meta progression, we can actually drop in some honor points, reinforce against walls, and there, of course, this is just a demo. There's going to be some things that are locked behind the demo wall itself. So, what we are going to focus on. Well, we can't build much. All we do is arrow towers. So at this point, having houses, lumberjacks, and I think building a mill so we can increase our workforce is probably a good idea. Additionally, there's a building here called a tavern. This tavern puts workers in a good mood. Let me select that and open that up. Increases worker productivity. So, increases it by 20% base, which is great. We can also build a brewery, which supplies the tavern with beer by using wheat. And that increases this number exponentially. So as you can see already, we had 2 workers. We were generating 20 wood per turn. Now we're generating 24. So it does start to stack up fairly quick. We're going to hire another worker. We're not going to build another house just yet because, well, there's no point. We still have room for 1 more worker. And we're going to put them into the wheat fields. So we start generating some resources for new workers. And now we're going to have a look at the old area here that we exposed and have a look around maybe for a nice place to drop a tower. Now, what's important is that the more towers of the same type you place, the more expensive it gets. So the first tower we drop down costs 10 wood. This second one is going to cost 20. So it gets very expensive very, very quick. Not only that, but now we have to play a little bit of a planning game. Because while we could drop this tower here and the range is at +4, you can see by the little blue circle, not exactly a whole lot of the map is covered, or the trail is covered. Now, in the same vein, if we drop down to a +1, the exact same area is covered, doesn't really help us too much. Unless we move a little bit further back, and this gives us more of a chance to engage any enemies that come through. So I'm actually going to drop a tower here. I'm going to leave that +4 open for now, just in case. Maybe I'll drop another tower there just so we can start stacking up for anything that's coming our way. And I'll again immediately select it and set it to auto level for fire rate. And now I'll hit explore. So the waves do increase each turn. It's not something that remains the same level, difficulty level all the way through. So you do have to try and plan this out as best you can. That being said, as you can see in the new area, there's not really a whole lot of spaces where we're going to get any sort of range bonus. We get a +2 here, which is nice. Or a +2 here, which is nice. But this is also, we could start stacking up our towers so that they kind of start supporting each other. Now, with the houses, we need 40 food before we can go ahead and bring in a new worker. So we're going to wait 1 more turn. And as you can see, nice and easy, not too bad. We also get, as you can see in the top right corner here, there's next events. So every certain number of turns, something pops up. For this here, on turn 3, we get a choice of banners. So we get to choose special powers that will affect us and help us through our run. Next up on turn 5, we get to choose a specific hero. And then at turn 6, we get another choice of banners. We can also re-roll for anything we don't like. Well, let's have a look around. So right now we have rares, 2 rares and a common. We have barbed arrows, which give the arrow towers, will inflict a bleeding debuff on impact. So stack it 4 times, slower than 3%, which is not bad. We can also do Timberwind Mark, so each arrow tower generates wood every wave and strikes with increasing damage. So that's actually pretty good too. We also have Rapid Archer, so the arrow tower fires a burst of 3 arrows, each dealing reduced damage. The fire rate is moderately decreased. Not really ideal. Damage goes up, fire rate goes down. Not exactly the best. So it comes down to a choice between these two. Do we go for a bleed, get some dots on the field? Or do we say, screw it, we can work on resource production, because all we're going to be building is going to be wood towers until we unlock another one. And then we can start increasing our damage for our wood towers. I'm actually going to choose this just so we increase our wood production. And not only that, but now we have enough honor where we could possibly unlock another tower. This tower, the volcano motor, costs stone to put into place. Right now, we don't have a stone mine. That's a gold mine, that's a quarry. So for 35 wood, we could build a quarry, but we're going to need workers to actually get there and do the job. So for now, we're going to hire our last worker. And we're going to leave one worker generating food. And our third worker is going to be generating more wood. Because again, right now, wood is going to be our primary resource. Now, this volcano mortar, slow firing, large range, as you can see here right off the bat, very large base range. Where would that be a good idea to drop something down where it has increased range and splash? Would probably be somewhere around here. Additionally, there is a +4 here that covers a greater area and an unexplored area just up the map. What I'm going to do, it's probably ideal to drop one here, but not at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this here and have a look at it. So it does 120 damage right now. Range is 7, which is great. Fire rate, 0.2 a second. So extraordinarily terrible. We're going to try and increase that best we can. Then we're going to hit explore and move on to the next area. Not too bad. Not too bad. So that leaves us with 72 wood in stock. We could build another tower for 40. If we build another tower, we can't build the quarry. But if we build the quarry, we can't build another tower until next turn. And right now, I believe we are comfortable. I think I'll build the quarry. Take one worker off of the wood and put them on the stones. Now we're generating 12 stone a turn. And actually, that being said, let's swing by the castle here. We're going to go to tax burden. And we're going to select the first level of that one. So every worker we have is generating 1 gold per turn. So it cost us 25 gold. We're going to get +4 gold per turn. Should be beneficial in the long run as long as we survive. Let's pick the next area and have a look. So this mortar tower as well does splash damage, which is very beneficial in large groups of enemies. Right now it's focusing those with the largest hit points. So it's not really all that effective, and we're going to have some guys get through. Yeah. Unfortunate. But now we get to choose a hero. So each hero comes with their own little bonuses, like say, for example, more spell energy or more resources. Like gold production per worker is +1, jump +1. Jump is part of a tower that you unlock later for electricity, so it starts jumping from 1 to 2 enemies, and goes from 1 to 2 to 1 to 3, and away you go. Passive attributes for this one is rare banner chance +5% and beer productivity up by 10%. We don't have access to the brewery yet, so beer productivity does not exactly say anything to us. But there's also special spells that each hero brings, which allow us to kind of influence the combat field at least a little bit. So, for Christian, we have Shadow Rain, which deals 8 times 70 damage to random enemies, as well as a Lightning Strike, which deals 900 damage to one enemy and jumps at least once to a nearby target and deals 70% of the original damage. Not bad. John has Ice Strike, which deals 50 damage to enemies within radius and also inflicts slow. And then a base spell of 150 damage. Spell damage counts twice. Increases your hero's spell damage by 0% at the moment. And Kareem? There we go. Kareemed. has a base fireball, does 250 damage within a radius, and arcane explosion, which deals 150 damage within the radius, and again, gain 2% spell damage per use. So the more times we use this, the stronger we get. Now with Kareem, comes with spell energy +2, which is great because each one of these spells costs 1 energy. So every hero has a base of 2. Kareem has a base of 4. We could spike this very, very quickly just by using it every turn. And their spell points are, in fact, returned at the end of every combat run. So you could use this indefinitely. You only use it how many times per run, though. So you have to be kind of use it sparingly. However, because we're still fairly new or fairly early in the mission, we can actually go ahead and spam the crap out of this and spike it up. I'm going to take Kareem. He comes with 100 wood. More wood and away you go. So as you can see here on the bottom left, he has 4 energy available, and each one of these costs 1. We're going to spam the crap out of his arcane explosion. That's my master plan anyways. That being said, too, we do have an option of dropping down another arrow tower, which might be beneficial, seeing how it's been kind of a... Well, we had one guy slip through last turn. So we kind of want to focus down a little bit more, if we can, on people getting through. We could drop an arrow tower here to start hitting people a little bit earlier. Grab our fire rate. I'm going to focus more on those who are closest to the town. We'll leave these two in the middle for highest HP. The one in the rear, again, closest to the town. We'll focus that one first. We also have... Well, we have plenty of wood. Why not build some more? Volcano tower there would be great. We're just shy of stone. Next turn, we can plop one there. We do a... +2 here would be more beneficial than a +4 there. We're going to focus on the highest HP. Just to have a little bit of a mix. That way they don't all focus on the same enemy and possibly waste a shot. Say, for example, if one is enough to kill it, but they fire twice. That's a wasted shot and takes a little bit to reload. It's not exactly ideal. Who else do we want? You want a double stack here? Potentially. Let's explore the first area, or the next area. So we can see here the path comes in this way. What we can do is, now that we're paused, so we can drop a tower here just to kind of get a little bit ahead of everything. And reap the benefits of our pre-planning. That's a little bit better. Splash damage is working its magic. Nobody's getting through now. Perfect. So, we can increase our wood production from 1 to 3 if we want for the Timberwood Mark. We also have access to the magma field, which increases our... or adds a burn to the volcano mortar, ignites the area, gives us a burn stack of 2, or we do barbed arrows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reroll. I don't want to spend them both. But with this one is rare, so increased it from 2 to 3, and stacks from 2 to 3, and field duration every 2 seconds. I'm going to grab this, and then I'm going to drop another volcano mortar. And that second volcano mortar is probably going to go right here. Explore the next area and see what's in range. Oh, beautiful. We also have our first shield boy here, it seems. So that's kind of important. Arrow towers do a great deal of damage, so I don't think they're going to be too much of a worry. Oh yeah, we're thinning him up pretty good. Nice and clean. There was a double shot. That's what I was worried about. I want to try and minimize that as much as we possibly can. Alright, so now I get another shot to drop another arrow tower. And you know what? Having an arrow tower here with plenty of room to go ahead and take shots as everyone goes around is probably not a bad idea. Alright, so that being said, is there anything we need to worry about? Ideally, we want to spend the wood, build another house so that we can get another worker. I think the next level is going to cost us 60 anyways. So we should have enough wood on hand to do that and get another worker and then carry on. Ah, okay, so now this one's a new area. This one's got a split in it, so I can actually choose it, to go off into separate directions. When these areas start to split off, it's always a good idea to kind of run one side out more than the other. So that way it takes longer for certain enemies to get to the certain area that you're defending and give you more chance to kind of clean up a cluster like what you see what's going on right now. These guys should be taken care of here very quickly. Should be. Oh yeah. Nice, neat, and clean. These guys make it through. Oh, nope, that's a negative. Very nice. Alright, so before we go ahead and accidentally spend our resources on anything, we're going to build a new house, grab a new worker. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to add that worker to our wood. Brew is going to cost 120 wood. This increases our worker productivity by 40% as long as we have enough wheat to sustain it. Sounds simple enough. Now, as far as everything else out here, we don't have the resources to build any more towers, so let's just go ahead and explore a new area. And as you can see here, it's splitting everything up nicely, giving our towers plenty of time to go ahead and split up the enemy forces. And should hopefully start dealing with them much easier. Ideally. And so far, that seems to be the case. So good news, I'm not seeing anything for elites coming through yet. Fingers crossed, but elites, when they do show up, they're usually enemies with a great big blue bar and they got multiple health bars to them. And when you kill them, they drop chests, which gives you additional bonuses, which is nice. Usually resources or relics or some other banner, stuff like that. It's very nice. Very nice. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, we're going to wind up taking some losses here. At least one guy got through. So we're down to 8, and I completely forgot to start spamming the crap out of this, didn't I? Just watched it happen. Ah, what a fool. What a fool. So I could increase the range of our volcano mortars at a reduction of fire rate, which fire rate is already pretty slow. Or I can increase my burn stacks from 3 to 6, and same for the stacks per hex field. Duration stays the same, but the burns is better. I'm going to choose that. Now, we have enough honor to actually unlock the next tower, which is an arc tower. This uses 5 wood and 15 stone right off the bat. And what it is it does exactly like I said it does, where it actually targets an enemy, strikes that enemy, and then jumps an arc onto the next one. So this is great for choke points, like areas here, where everyone kind of piles up, and it has multiple chances to strike at each other as they go by. Do I have enough to do both? I do not. But if I put this in a position, say here, this should have plenty of time to go ahead and deal damage to everybody as they come through. I'm going to increase the fire rate. Fire rate itself is already pretty good. And I'm going to grab a cheeky level for this one to increase the damage. Spike that damage up to 84. The range is now 7. And hopefully the next time this levels up on its own, it should be 0.6. Now, ideally, if I was still thinking smart, I would have grabbed The second upgrade for tax burden, which is at 35, for saving my gold for a little while longer, and increased the gold generation from our workers from 1 to 2 per worker. Next time. All right, let's run this out. So as you can see too, it is a very powerful tower. Not so effective against those with shield, but against everyone else, it's great. Ah, and here comes our first boss. So now we get to see exactly if we have enough firepower to deal with what we need to. Now, we also have enough resources to drop another tower, which is not a bad idea. The question is, where is a good spot to drop this tower? That's probably going to be right here because it does affect everybody coming around the corner and gives it more time to shoot everybody. Automatically choose our fire rate. And hopefully that'll be enough to deal with our boss. So what does suck, though, is that it has not really given us enough time to get everybody through, so that way we can start focusing the boss alone. But we'll start working on that one here shortly. Like right now. He's about half health now. We might have enough. We might actually have enough to stop him. Maybe. Oh, this is gonna be close. Uh-oh, we don't. Oh, no. No! And there we go. Dang it. So, once you inevitably fail, you get to choose a reward that unlocks additional things for your towns and also allows you to unlock perks using your honor points that you've generated. So I'm going to select the hero tower. Then I'm going to go to one of my perks. I'm going to have a look around. We get to reinforce our gates, which is not bad for additional life points. But what I'm going to do is we're going to start the game with maybe one more worker. Maybe additional resources? Having more gold is not bad. We can reduce the inflation rate for additional towers of the same type, which is actually really good. And we'll grab more gold. There we go. So, not too bad. Makes the next turn a little bit easier, so it's not so bad. But ladies and gentlemen, that's just kind of an example of the type of gameplay you can expect from this wonderful little series that has completely... Oh, what's the word for it? It's completely taken over my free time in between. It's disgusting. And I love it. So if you're looking for a game that's, you know, something that's kind of a sit back, relax, and just kind of plan out and not have too big of a stress worry while you're playing a video game, this one's not bad. It's a nice little tower defense game. I enjoy it. And if you want to try it out for yourself, obviously you can go ahead and hit it up Steam. Grab the demo for yourself. It's free. Just don't say I didn't warn you. You're going to wind up suddenly realizing it's like 2 hours later one night and suddenly you're behind on work. And then trying to explain to everybody at work why your projects aren't done or why your projects for university aren't done. Just saying. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, by all means, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to support the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment on down below. In the meantime, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, all.
I'm inbound on your starboard. 7 high 10. Target acquisition is screwed. Give me manual controls now.